Hi. And now for the last 5 songs on Naked Kate. The who's, the what's, the wherefores. This next song, Man with the Child in His Eyes, probably doesn't need much of an introduction. It's one of the most beautiful songs she's ever written. It's been covered by a lot of people, Dusty Springfield, Natalie Cole, for instance. And I remember when I was looking through the material, and I definitely wanted to include more than just moving from the kick inside. And there's a lot of other good material on that record, notably Wuthering Heights. Amazing song. I don't even know what to say about that, the level of, brilliance of that particular piece. And so I was looking at that going, well, should I do Wuthering Heights? Or should I do Man with a Child in His Eyes? And it turns out there are hundreds of covers of Wuthering Heights all over the place. And I didn't feel like I needed to do another. And I was really drawn to the beauty of this song. And ultimately, it was one of you online on my Facebook page who wrote, Dave, it was you, Dave, who wrote, oh, I would love to hear your voice in Man with a Child in His Eyes. And so I really took that to heart and thought, okay, I believe him. And so that's why I recorded it. And I'm so glad I did, because again, it is a stunningly gorgeous song. Alex, again, slayed on his guitar solo. And for me, I just wanted to focus on just beautiful singing, and also to bring out the innocence and the childlike quality. She wrote that song when she was 13 years old, if you can imagine such a thing. She recorded it when she was 16 years old. And there is an innocence to it, and also in just the lyrics about maybe I'm on a trip for my love for him, maybe he doesn't love me, all those things that you go through, especially young, but even when you're older and you're completely in love with somebody. And I also love just the phrase, the man with the child in his eyes. That little light that you see behind people's eyes sometimes that just draw you in. That's how I interpret that phrase, that this man there's this innocence in him and his childlike, charming quality that she loves so much. And she did end up writing this for a real boyfriend, as a matter of fact, her boyfriend at the time. But yeah, those are the reasons why I included this song, and I'm so glad I did. I think I might have felt like I was missing something if I hadn't put this on the album. The song that comes after Man with the Child in His Eyes on Naked Kate is Song of Solomon. And I kind of like these juxtaposed with each other like this, because Song of Solomon, which was on the Red Shoes, which was released in 1993, is a song that is mature sexuality and mature love. And it's based on this biblical Song of Songs, which celebrates sexual love in the Bible. There's nothing in the Song of Songs about God or, it's all about sensuality, really. And so that's why she called this song Song of Solomon. And one of the features of this song that you can't help but love is what her line about "Don't want your bullshit," yeah. So I just always loved that. It just is a hook that just gets right in there and grabs your ear. So when I selected this song and I sent the list to Alex, and he was playing it, I made a Spotify playlist for him, and he was playing it in the car on the family vacation, and he has a little 4 or 5-year-old son, and of course he loved when that part came up in the car. So Alex was saying that the whole family was singing along to that particular line. And she has, on the original tracks, she has those beautiful Bulgarian singers singing these backing tracks, these backing vocals. And I thought about doing those, maybe having Alex do it, maybe I would do it. And then just like Hounds of Love, I thought, no, I'm going to make that a guitar part. So it just has this hypnotic effect, the boom, 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 that plays throughout the whole song. And then I added some bass parts again and some drums. more hand drums in the background of this, plus the guitars, and then Alex overdubbed a great solo. And I am in love with this track. It just turned out so well. It was a challenge. It was, this music is challenging. And this piece, this song, it was so spare there, and it's sustained that every note has to have intention or you lose the listener's interest. And I feel like we really achieved it. So I'm very excited and proud about this one. Following Song of Solomon is Suspended in Gaffa. I'm going to say it again. Another one of my favorite songs. This is from The Dreaming, which is of my top 3 albums, The Dreaming, Hounds of Love, and Ariel. The Dreaming is an album, she released it right before, previous to Hounds of Love, so I think it was 84. And it got a lot of flack. She produced it herself, and she was getting very experimental, and she layered a lot of parts. And even she lost one of her first engineers because he was like, I can't deal with this woman with all this craziness that she's overdubbing on this album. I think it's completely brilliant. This song, Suspended in Gaffa, is a song that has this, it's almost like a circus-like quality. Out in the garden, there's half of a heaven. And I really wanted to capture that, which Alex did with his great guitar playing, and then I added a bass part to it, and I added some little guitar parts, and some drums. And the song is about seeing something that you really want, in this case, God or a spiritual experience, and then not being able to see it or experience it ever again. And what's interesting to me is, and I'm looking at a quote right here, she said most of her songs are not autobiographical, but this one is. And she says, Suspended in Gaffa is reasonably autobiographical, which most of my songs aren't. It's about seeing something that you want on any level and not being able to get that thing unless you work hard and then in the right way towards it. And she talks about, between you and me, that girl in the mirror doesn't stand a chance of getting anywhere at all. We can all relate to that. How many times we've felt that way about ourselves and just like, oh man, just that self-doubt. And you end up being, well, Gaffa in this case is the black tape that they use, gaffer tape. So the sense of being suspended in Gaffa, which is a very odd title for sure, is that she wrote, the choruses are meant to express the feeling of entering timelessness as you become ready for the experience. So the song is mysterious. I remember when I first heard it, I was like, what the heck is this about? But again, it's got this, the melody is so catchy, and the way she wove the words into the melody, they came really quickly. I can tell that she wrote the words and the melody together because they just kind of tumble out together. And so I really wanted to, like I said, get this kind of circusy feel to the song, and I feel like we did. It turned out even better because I was afraid, like, how are we going to make this song work? It totally works. It's so amazing to hear these things with acoustic guitars. It's just such a delight for my ear, from just the geeky musical part of myself. And right after Suspended in Gaffa, towards the end of the album, is Running Up That Hill. And of course, I had to include this song. It's her quintessential song, probably her most famous song, aside from Wuthering Heights. Maybe in some cases could be even more famous than Wuthering Heights, depending on what era. Running Up That Hill was on Hounds of Love, again, critically acclaimed. It has been covered by a lot of people, but somehow I wasn't daunted by that because I could just hear the feel that I wanted on this song as an acoustic cover. I wanted it to be a little bit more wistful, a little bit less driving than the original, and emotional in a way. The song is about wishing you could trade places with your lover and understand what it was like to be in their shoes. And I think probably everybody's had that experience. And so we laid down just the basic acoustic tracks, and then again I took some of the instrumental parts, the famous lick, like in the keyboard phrases, and just lay that over with the guitar. So I really love how the guitars interweave on this song, and I love the feel of it. It just has this, it's very emotional, the way it turned out. This song was really, really important to me to get right. Like I was a little bit intimidated when I had to sit down and record this one, because it means so much to me, and I think it means so much to so many people. And I remember the day I had to go in and work on the guitar parts and the vocal parts, like even doing a little invocation of, please let me get this right. I really want to get this right. And I feel like I did. I feel like I did. I really love it. The final song on the album, Under the Ivy, was recorded as a B-side for the Running Up That Hill. It's not on any album, Under the Ivy, so it's a single. And she wrote it really quickly. And it's a song about someone who's sneaking away from a party to meet someone secretively and go under the ivy and have, you know, like maybe a lover's tryst. And it has a sad quality to it, the song does, I think. And she mentions that. She says it's about a nostalgic revisited moment, a moment of maybe looking back on your life when you used to be able to go do things like that. You know, and as an adult, you can't really do that stuff as much anymore. And it's such a beautiful song. I mean, the minute as I was going through the whole catalog and I heard the song, I just knew I have to include this. And I also knew, of course, it would translate beautifully into acoustic guitars. It's a simple song that is stunningly beautiful. And the morning, it was like the last thing we recorded before Alex left, guitar-wise. And we ended up doing it really, really slow. And I'm really glad we did, because there's just all this space. And this is the one song I didn't put any of the backing vocal parts in. Actually, I didn't put backing vocal parts in most of the songs, but these have this predominant part, and I decided to leave it out because I just wanted that space to be there, for it to be this very spare, very intimate song that kind of finishes out the whole album and leaves you feeling like you've been through a whole experience. So that's it. The whys and the wherefores, the hows, the whats of the 15 songs on Naked Kate. And thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for watching. And I can't wait for you to hear the music, and I can't wait to hear back from you what you think. Thank you.